would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Real Estate Realities with the Rebel Broker. My name's Robert Whitelaw, and I am the Rebel Broker. Licensed real estate broker in the state of California, member of the National Association of Realtors. But please, don't hold that against me. It's Thursday, folks. We have picked another winner of the $50 Amazon gift card. Unfortunately, that person has not gotten back to me yet. If your name is Eduardo and you went and took the survey to support the show, please go check your email. I will leave it open to you to reply to claim this fabulous $50 gift card till tomorrow at 5 p.m. But after that, I'm going to have to go ahead and draw someone else. That would be the first time I've have to do that, and I really don't want to. So please get in touch with me. Let me know that you got the email. I'm going to send out another confirmation today. So please get back to me so that I can give you your $50 gift card. Thank you very much. If you would like to jump in and put your hat in the ring to potentially win that $50 Amazon gift card next month, head on over to therebelbroker.com, click on the red button at the top titled Take the Survey to Support the Show. Use the same email address both times you're asked, and then answer the handful of questions, and then you will be in and will potentially find yourself winning that $50 Amazon gift card come January. And what a great way to start off the year. And congratulations to the other two confirmed winners from October and November. You can also join the Rebel Underground by sending the word Rebel Broker, texting the word Rebel Broker to the number 44222. That's texting the word Rebel Broker to the number 44222. And then you're in the Rebel Underground, and you get access to all kinds of cool stuff. There are some things in the works right now. I'm going to be taking a road trip to a investment hotspot, or at least what looks like a pretty target-rich environment in terms of investment opportunities. I've got all kinds of cool ideas on how to turn that into a great sort of instructional experience that I can record and share with all of you, so stay tuned for that. Finally, another great way to support the show is however you're consuming it, whether it's iTunes, Spreaker, what have you. Please do subscribe or write a quick review of the show. It's that sort of involvement. It all has to do with listener engagement, and those are things that help grow the show. And I can't grow the show without your help, so please, if you can take a moment out of your day to do that, I would be forever in your debt. As for today's topic, I came across an article that I thought was interesting. It's aimed primarily at investors, so of course investors are going to be able to benefit from this discussion, but it also crosses over into helping people who are looking to remodel their own homes as well. And the topic is really how to save on remodeling supplies. And in this case, they're trying to aim it mostly at folks who are doing flipping. But you know, who doesn't want to save money? It's always nice to be able to save huge chunks of cash whenever you're doing your potential remodel. And if you mix this with a do-it-yourself attitude, you can basically make this cost you in terms of money just what it costs to acquire the materials to do the work. And by putting in a little sweat equity and time of your own, you're going to end up with some great upgrades that add value to your home, add to your ability to enjoy your home, and just make it generally look better. So feel free to take notes if you'd like. This is an article that comes to us from biggerpockets.com, a great site if you're looking to interact with a lot of other investors, those types of things. It doesn't cost you anything to get involved. They do have some subscription level stuff if you want to get access to some of their more to some of their courses and recorded webinars. But you can even participate in their webinars without paying for anything. So if you're looking to get some inspiration from some like-minded folks for your efforts, you can head on over to Bigger Pockets. I think that's a great place to start, particularly since you can do it without really spending any money. But let's go ahead and jump in and talk about, they've identified 6 ways to save on remodeling supplies, and I figured it'd be good to go through these. And these guys are definitely into the big box home improvement stores. So for those of you who are conveniently located to these, whether it's a Home Depot or a Lowe's, I know that for me, I have the choice of either one of those where I am. They're talking about suggestions relating to really leveraging off of buying off the shelf from the big box stores. Now, one of the first suggestions that they make here for the buy off the shelf suggestion is buying cabinets for your kitchen. Now, this can absolutely work. It really depends on what your goals are. They state here they have Hampton Bay cabinets, which are their off the shelf variety, so all pre-made. They come in about 30 sizes, but if you combine them with spacers, you can make them work for just about any kitchen. Speaking as someone though who shows houses on a regular basis, lots of spacers. Spacers are not invisible. So you're definitely going to want to weigh whether or not this is a direction that you want to go. And the thing that I get out of it is this is absolutely the cheapest way that you can do cabinets. And I understand that if you're buying intending to rent, or maybe if you're I'm not even so sure I go along with the flipping idea, but if you can get this done right, or you have the skills to make this a very seamless installation, more power to you. Because they do have some choices. They have 6 different finishes with a basic door style. According to this article, the fronts are solid wood and the sides are plywood covered in a thin veneer. And unless you're getting custom cabinets, most cabinet boxes are not solid wood anyway, which is absolutely true. But this is an option, because the reason why I criticize this one a little bit is, as I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I went looking at different properties and went and looked at one that clearly did this in the kitchen. And it was I hate to say this, such a half-assed job that, in my opinion, it took away more from the potential resaleability of the property than it added to it by a long shot. Whatever cabinets they replaced, even if they had been old, raggedy 70s cabinets, this change, this cabinet upgrade, quote unquote, absolutely did not cry out, great, these are cabinets I can live with in my kitchen. They cried out, well, now I have no choice but to replace these because this is just horrible. So my suggestion, when would this work? When would this philosophy of going and getting cabinets of this kind work? From my experience, it tends to be those instances where you are working with very small kitchens, very simple kitchens. For instance, galley kitchens are a good example, where perhaps you only have a straight run of cabinets on the left and the right. There's no complicated corners. There's no weird angles. There's no islands involved. These kinds of cabinets can absolutely work in those types of environments and are maybe even appropriate for those types of environments. But you really need to consider this depending on what your goal is. If this is for you and you're going to be completely happy with these style cabinets, go for it. As long as you know that you can install them in a way that's going to be acceptable, particularly taking into consideration what you might be interested in terms of resale down the road. One example that this particular author gives is that they were able to get almost everything they needed for their kitchen through this off-the-shelf cabinet line, but they didn't offer a refrigerator panel, and they needed one for their layout. And they noticed another custom cabinet company had what looked like the exact same color that they were choosing. They compared the samples as best they could, took a leap, and ordered the refrigerator panel. Since wood is a natural product, color variations are normal, the panel is an almost exact match, and the slight difference can be contributed to natural variations in the wood. So in this example, she spent $2,000 on off-the-shelf cabinets. The custom brand would have cost more than $5,000 for almost the exact same thing. So they're saving $3,000. And I get that. And that is extremely attractive. However, in the example I gave where someone had a more complicated layout and going this way became very obviously not a good thing with the amount of spacers that had to be used and the amount of weird stuff that had to be applied to make everything fit together, my argument would be that you actually detracted more value than even what you saved in terms of that transaction. So absolutely, you need to think your way through these. You need to try to see it from the standpoint of someone who's going to be looking at it to potentially buy it. So is this a viable technique? Absolutely, but it's going to be dictated by the circumstances that you're particularly working with. Number 2 on their list, check out the Oops paint section. This one can actually be very good, and it also depends on how much square footage you're going to be looking to paint. But it does emphasize something I've said before, and that is the cheapest paint is almost never your best option. You can buy the cheap paint, but you're going to discover that you need to put on multiple coats for it to look acceptable. So you're better off not doing that. So the question suddenly becomes, how do you get a better quality paint without paying the higher quality price? So what you do is you end up going for the paints, the large containers of paint that have been done, and they're an error, they're a mistake. So you can get these great paints. You typically want paint with primer, which is normally about $35 a gallon, but it covers everything in one quote. And you can also get these cheaper. So it's twice the price and 1/5 the work of the original paint that you were going to buy that would take 5 coats to cover everything. But if you go to these various home improvement stores or even some paint-specific stores, there's a local paint-specific store here in Morgan Hill that I've been to a couple of times, and they actually have sections, or if you talk to them, ask them about paint that has been done that was in error, that it was miscolored, used the wrong base paint, whatever, it's not right, maybe the finish isn't right. You don't really need to care what the problem is, but you can have what's great about this is if you can get some of the big containers, if you can solve the vast majority of your painting needs in terms of how much it's going to cover with what's available for the cheap price. If you need more, you can always get it at what's going to be the slightly higher price, but the bulk of what you're paying for is going to be much less expensive. In fact, typically cheaper than what you would pay for the cheap 5-coat paint. So that's an excellent way to go. And 9 times out of 10, it's some variation on a light color anyway. Now, the one exception to this is you don't want to go for the Oops paint that's purple or neon orange. These are not unless that's what you want in your house. If this is for you for a personal purchase, great. If this is for a flip or for a rental, not what you want to go with. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now, one suggestion that's made by this article that I'm not 100% sure what to think of, they say if there are several cans of the same or almost the same color, this person buys them all, and then they get a 5-gallon plastic bucket and mix them all together to create their own custom color. And of course, you can only do that if they're the same finish. You can't mix flat with ultra gloss, for instance. However, the problem with that is you need to make sure that that's going to cover whatever it is you're trying to paint. Why? You're almost never going to be able to replicate that color again. At least if you purchase one large container of an Oops paint, it's already going to have on that paint can the numbers necessary for you to replicate that exact color. So if you're not able to cover the entire area, you can go back and you can order that exact same color and they'll be able to match it. You won't have to worry about it. Under these kinds of circumstances, doing something like this, totally not going to be able to do that. Is that necessarily a bad thing? No. If you're a landlord and you're looking to paint the interior of a rental property and you are fine with doing this kind of thing, great. There's no rule that says every room has to be the same shade of white. If I was doing this, though, I wouldn't start with my largest areas unless I am absolutely certain that I have enough to cover that entire area. If you're doing this bizarre mixing idea, make sure that you start with the smaller bedrooms first, or the biggest room that you're convinced it will cover, and then you work your way down to smaller rooms, and never start a room if you don't think you have enough paint to cover the entire area. And then if you're left with just a little bit at the end, you can get rid of it. Don't go to the trouble of painting another room with it, but at least you've done it, right? For a very reasonable price, you've managed to cover up some number of rooms with that paint. Let's see, number 3 on their list, don't write off big bargain stores. And this is actually a pretty good example. I've been using Costco for a while in terms of shopping, and you will sometimes find some very good deals on tile, for instance, at Costco. It isn't guaranteed that they're going to have it in stock now, but, quote, from time to time, they find some pretty amazing mosaic tiles. Their kitchen backsplash, this particular person purchased it from Costco. They've got different styles that they'll see from time to time. My only suggestion is when you do this stuff with Costco, you have to understand how Costco does business. Go in there and don't buy the absolute minimum of what you're thinking you're going to need. You need to make sure you cover the entire area in terms of what you're purchasing up front, because there's every chance if you need to go back to Costco to buy more, it's going to be gone, and there's no guarantee that that's going to come back again. I have had plenty of folks in the past who've used Costco for these kinds of things. They buy enough to do maybe a small job and decide they want to do the rest, and then they go back and it's not there. So just be aware that these things are not always going to be available, and always make sure to write down exactly who the manufacturer is, what the style of the tile is. That way you may be able to find it perhaps for a slightly higher price at some other outlet like Home Depot or Lowe's, or perhaps even online. So take advantage of that. Those can often save you huge amounts of money in terms of coverage. Now, other things that you're also going to find in Costco, laminate flooring, light bulbs, light fixtures, faucets, garbage disposals, toilets. All you need to do is make sure that if you're going one way or another and you need to worry about having enough of something, make sure you buy enough up front to make it work for you, because as I've mentioned before, as frequently happens, if they run out of that stock, it's gone. So just make sure that you're not half committing to something, and then find halfway through the process you need to go back and buy more, only to discover that there isn't any more to be bought. You just make sure that you're walking out the door with what you need to complete the task that you're looking to complete. All right, we're going to go into a few more of these, but before we do, I'm going to take a quick break. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Are you ready to jump in and start your search for your first investment property? Maybe you've decided that it's time to own your own home, or maybe you're ready to sell your home and move on to something new. No matter what your goal is, the Rebel Broker can help. That's right, aside from hosting this show, I am also the owner, broker of Whitelaw & Sons Real Estate Services right here in Silicon Valley. With over 25 years experience serving Silicon Valley, Morgan Hill, San Martin, and Gilroy, I or one of my great agents can help you achieve your goals in real estate. So if you're ready to look into taking that next step towards achieving your real estate goals, point your browser at www.soldbyrobert.com. That's www.soldbyrobert.com and get in touch. Let me show you how I will earn your business and your respect. Again, that's www.soldbyrobert.com, or you can call me at 408-852-0525. California Bureau of Real Estate ID 00984-909. Welcome back, everyone. We are covering some top methods to save you some money when you're upgrading your property or basically doing any kind of stuff relating to your property, whether you're looking to just improve it for your own personal enjoyment, or if you're a flipper and you're looking to trim off expenses here and there. These are some great options. We're up to number 4 on this list from Bigger Pockets, titled Spruce Up the Property with Hardy Plants and Discount Mulch. What you want to do is look for more rugged plants. One example that's given here in this particular article is purple fountain glass and salvia. Those are ones that tend to be drought resistant. Anything that's going to be a little bit more sturdy, I think, are good options and are also very attractive. But what you also want to do is fill the areas between plants in your landscaping with mulch. And there's a variety of ways to save money there. You can get bags of mulch in the springtime for about $2.50 a bag, but also you can go to damaged bags. A lot of those box stores, whenever a bag gets damaged, they'll tape it up and stick it to the side. And then for $1, you can get yourself a nice big bag of mulch. Another way to go is to contact any local landscaping places, and they will deliver to you in larger quantities at a very good price if any of them happen to be near you. All right, number 5 on this list, get suggestions from friends. Now, the specific example they gave here in terms of getting suggestions from friends related specifically to tiles and how they would see these sort of ridiculous, cheesy commercials for this place. And then when they started asking friends about where they were getting their tile, they were finding everyone was going to this particular tile outlet, and the prices were amazing. To draw more generally from that, I'm going to suggest that you simply open up Google Maps in your city and type in tile and see what comes up. Now, you may be thinking, well, I'm going to probably find my best bets at Home Depot and Lowe's and other big box stores. And while that may be true, I have found that here in San Jose, anywhere, I'm in Morgan Hill, but San Jose is just to the north of me, there is a street. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's not Center Avenue, but there is a street where there's just tons of tile outlets. Why they've all gone to the same street, I have no idea. But they apparently get their hands on a lot of cases on the end of a particular run of certain kinds of tile. And what you're going to discover is there are some ridiculously good deals on tiles that last year people were paying top dollar for. And this year, as long as you get what you need to finish the job, in fact, some of these places are going to often ask you to purchase all of the remainder that they have, which you shouldn't balk at, by the way. I don't think, particularly if you're doing this as a flipper, if it's a very little bit above what you need, fine, then you'll have some reserve tiles to do any repairs in those rooms where those tiles get damaged. But if there's enough there to do another room and another flip or another room in that property down the road, I'd take advantage of that simply because by and large, them asking for you to buy all of it isn't out of line simply because they're selling it so cheaply. I have literally seen tiles that were being sold for $50, $60 a square foot being sold for $5 a square foot. And some of the midline costs of tiles I've seen as cents on the dollar. So it can absolutely be a great option for you. And in my case, I was looking to tile a room about 2 years ago, and I literally just got in my car and went tile store to tile store on this drive until I found one that had what looked like the absolute top of the line tile from maybe a year or 2 years ago. The company that was doing this tile wasn't going to be doing it anymore, so this was the last of it, and they had the amount of tile I needed to do the space plus a little bit more. I ended up buying it all and was able to complete the job ridiculously cheap compared to what it would have cost if I had gone with what the popular tile was this year. And it was beautiful. So it's a great way for you to potentially save some money on those types of things. Next, their suggestion is to repeat what works. Now, let's start with how this advice is helpful for flippers, right? Or for folks who are doing this as an investment. And let me just quote this. We've come up with a great color palette for our flips. We use the same materials over and over because we know how to work with them. I use the same cabinet knobs in every house because they look good, yet are very inexpensive. They are sold in packs of 10, and it doesn't matter if I only need 21 for this house. I have some left over from the last one, or I just used up my stash, and I buy 30 because I know those extra 9 will be used in the next place. We use 18-inch travertine tile because it's cheap. It's a natural stone, so there isn't anything to match because none of it matches. It looks stunning and doesn't cost much more than a plain ceramic. If I have too much left over from the current house, I just store it in the garage until we buy the next one. So how does this apply to you as someone who maybe isn't flipping? Now, that's great advice for flippers, and I think that makes absolute sense. And I think that applies to anything any of us do. If we find a strategy that works over and over and over again, why change it, right? But here's how you can take advantage of this. You can get this exact same result for yourself if you're just looking to upgrade your own home simply by stealing someone else's experience. Go onto Pinterest. Go onto any sites that are just talking about design options. In fact, a lot of those stores I was telling you about that were tile outlets oftentimes have samples of an entire bathroom done with those tiles. So you can look at it and it'll show you, here's a floor that goes with these walls in this shower and this backsplash. And you can get the entire thing and simply say, I want this bathroom. I want this exact tile for my bathroom. If you're not sure what to do with color palettes, if you're not sure how to match it, you can either simply go and do a Google search on complementary color palettes. And for a lot of these websites, you pick one color and it will give you 3 or more colors that fit that palette, that fit well with that color if you want to go that route. The other option is, as I said, to go to a place like Pinterest where you can browse literally hundreds of different options in terms of kitchens, bathrooms, living rooms, family rooms, landscaping. It's really an endless selection of opportunities from you to learn from what other people have already done. And let me also sort of remind everyone of something we've talked about before. Places that are marketing brand new construction. When they build those model homes and they put the furniture in them and they decorate them and they paint them and they do tile flooring and cabinets and all of this stuff, they don't just randomly do that. They have paid someone who's been in the business a very long time, thousands of dollars, to come in and decorate and decide on color palettes and amenities and all of that kind of wonderful stuff. One of the best things you can do for yourself in terms of figuring out what palettes are most desirable right now, in terms of what decorating ideas are the hottest right now, go to some model homes, some brand new construction, and take photos of what you see in those homes. All of those manufacturers have gone to a huge amount of expense and trouble to make these homes as attractive as possible, and therefore attract the greatest amount of interest on the part of buyers. So if that's part of your goal, to attract the largest number of people to your property, steal the heck out of those ideas. Go out to all those brand new model homes and use those to your advantage. Why not? Someone else has spent thousands of dollars to do all that work. You may as well benefit from it. And that's true of flippers as well. If you're looking for wanting to get ideas on what the hottest thing is, well, all of these folks who have budgets much bigger than you as a flipper in terms of these builders go have come to the conclusion that this is how they get their homes sold. Why not use that for yourself? So there you go. I think that's some interesting suggestions. It's a great way to save some money. I'm absolutely going to be doing this. As I think some of you know, I think I've mentioned it. I'm going to be doing this to my home. I'm going to be remodeling my bathrooms, and I will be making another drive down the tile outlet street in San Jose to find what I'm going to be doing in terms of updating and remodeling the bathrooms here in my house. And hopefully I'll be able to save the same kind of money that this article suggests that you can. So that's definitely on my to-do list and something I'm hoping to get started right here at the new year. All right, folks. As always, I truly appreciate you taking the time to listen to what I have to say on these subjects. I am thankful that you're willing to spend your free time with me, and my only hope is that I'm able to give you something useful in return. Thanks again for listening, everyone. I'll talk to y'all next time.